My name's Kristi Heffron. I'm a senior trainer here at the Vancouver Aquarium. Worked at a lot of different facilities and finally settled here in Vancouver. With being a marine mammal trainer, obviously there is science involved in it. One of the first questions that we get as a trainer is, how do you become a marine mammal trainer? With this, I'll fill you in a little bit on my background and how I got into the position I am now. First and foremost, you need a college degree. Obviously, that university degree is very important in any job nowadays. Most common majors for a marine mammal trainer are biology, psychology, zoology, marine biology, animal behavior. My degree is in biology, like Dr. Nightingale said. For me, I went to school, decided biology was it for me. I wanted to study biology. I knew I wanted to work in the biology field, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wasn't that girl that grew up, oh, I've always wanted to be a dolphin trainer like a lot of other trainers are. I graduated college, didn't know what I wanted to do, but knew it was going to be something with biology. From there, I went to start volunteering at the Seattle Aquarium. A coworker suggested, hey, go volunteer at the aquarium. I didn't even know it was an option. And to be a marine mammal trainer, it's one of the first steps actually in getting to be up to the level of a trainer. So I volunteered for a few years, then started hearing about internships with marine animals. I did a few internships. I actually did 4 different internships. I had very loving and supportive parents that helped support me through these unpaid internships as I traveled around to Alaska and Tacoma, Washington as well. Another big thing for getting into being a marine mammal trainer is joining professional organizations. There's quite a few out there that deal with marine mammals specifically that are really good information websites, as well as, there's people on some of those websites that offer advice on where to go, what to do next. Another important thing for marine mammal trainers is scuba certified. Obviously, we have to clean the habitats of the animals, and the best and most efficient way to do that is to dive. Just this morning, I was in the beluga habitat, diving with the belugas, cleaning the windows. And then really it comes down to any experience is good experience. So anywhere you can get animal experience, whether it's at the local Humane Society or SPCA, at a dog kennel where you're walking dogs and cleaning up after dogs, or any sort of animal experience like that is all good experience. Like I said, I did 4 different internships. I was lucky enough to get hired on at Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium after that first internship. I was also hired on at Seattle Aquarium after volunteering there. Unfortunately, it's a lot of unpaid work before you get to that paid position, but all of that unpaid work is where you really start to make a name for yourself and prove what a hard worker you are and your passion about the animals and the work that you're doing. So next, I couldn't talk about marine mammals without putting a couple cute pictures of marine mammals. These are some of the marine mammals that we have here. We have beluga whales, harbor seals, a harbor porpoise, sea otters, and Pacific white-sided dolphins. We also have northern fur seals and stellar sea lions as well. Currently, right now, I am working specifically with the Pacific white-sided dolphins and the harbor seals and our harbor porpoise. So a typical day. What's the typical day of a marine mammal trainer? Really, there's no such thing as a typical day in our field. Yes, we have to do certain things every day, but every day is a little bit different than the day before. We do lots of diet preparation. For all of our marine mammals, we have to thaw, sort through all the fish that they think. If you think about it, our dolphins are all currently eating anywhere from 8 to 9 kilograms of fish a day per dolphin. And that's only 3 out of our over 25 marine mammals that we have. So it's quite a lot of fish that we're sorting through, thawing, looking for any imperfections. That's the very first thing that happens in the morning. And then obviously cleaning. A lot of people think that being a marine mammal trainer, most of your day is spent interacting with the animals, having fun, but actually the time that gets spent the most is probably cleaning. We have to clean up after the animals, clean their habitats. It's probably about at least 60% of our day is cleaning. Clean the buckets that we use to put their food in, clean the kitchen that we prepare their food in. Another portion of our day is enrichment. Enrichment is any added bonus to the day for the animals to mix up their day, whether it's toys, interaction with their trainers, spraying water into the pool, anything to mix up their regular routine so it's new and different every day. That's a big importance for us, is we want to keep things variable for the animals. And then of course training. It's probably one of our most important things we do throughout the day. And training happens every single step of the day, and especially when we're in front of the animals, whether it's doing plays and enrichment or shows or encounters, doing research, or even just training new behaviors with our animals to keep them active. So then the second most common question is, how do we train our animals? What we use here at the Vancouver Aquarium is known as positive reinforcement. Basically, in simple terms, we reward the behaviors that we want and we ignore the behaviors we don't want. Same way if any of you have children or have worked with kids, it's kind of the same mentality. One of our biggest tools that we use when training is called a target pull. It's basically on a buoy on the end of a stick, and it's our way to help direct the animal's attention. We can, when we're first starting out, touch it to their nose, give them a fish. Touch it to their nose, give them a fish. Do it a couple hundred times. Pretty soon they learn that if they touch that, they're going to get a fish. And since animals love their fish, you can start moving it off to the side. You can spin it in a circle. You can hold it up out of the water and have them jump up to try and touch it. How we tell them they did a good job, is by a bridge. Typically, we use a whistle as a bridge, and it's basically saying, you did it right, come on back, you're going to get your reward, which typically is fish. And then there's the hand signal, or the SD. It's how we communicate with them to tell them what we would like them to do. If I want you to jump up in the air, I've got a different hand signal than if I want you to spin in a circle. And then of course comes the reinforcement. There's variable types of reinforcement, usually known as primary and secondary. Primary being typically food, any intrinsic valued item for the animal. Secondaries can be our attention, it can be rubs with the animals. Our beluga whales really love their tongues being rubbed, and we found that that works as a good reward for them as well. Reasons why we train. Our biggest and most important reason why we train is animal health. We want to make sure that our animals are as healthy as possible, and we want to make sure that they're volunteers in their health care. Another reason is animal management. We want to make sure that we can move our animals around and they're comfortable with it, that we can set up our animals in any various arrangements. Education. Obviously, we want to educate the public on these great species of animals and let them be ambassadors for their wild counterparts. Of course, mental stimulation and physical exercise are important. We want to make sure that these animals are healthy, they're getting the exercise that they would get out in the wild, and that their days are kept interesting and varied. And research obviously is a very important thing, especially here at the Vancouver Aquarium. Right now our dolphins are working on 2 different research projects, one looking at the metabolics and another one looking at their echolocation, where we're actually placing eye cups over their eyes and listening for them to use their echolocation to navigate around their habitat. These are some of the professional organizations that I talked about that are really important for people that are interested in getting into this field to look at. They've got some great information about marine mammal training, especially the first one, imata.org. This is the International Marine Animal Trainer Association. It's a very valuable key. There are job postings on there. There's information on how to become a marine mammal trainer, appropriate steps, as well as a forum for people to go on there and ask questions, other trainers to converse with other trainers, people that are interested in the field to ask questions about different programs and facilities.